This is the Power Talk with Datuk Sri Panglima Wilfred Madius Tangang. Okay, Datuk Sri Panglima, Sabah's vision is to be the resource-based manufacturing location of choice by 2025. How is the progress, and what do you think should be done to ensure that the vision will be properly materializing by that time?
Our achievement at the moment, the manufacturing sector, industrial contribution to GDP is less than 8%. And it's a monumental task to move into 2025. But operationally, we have been working very aggressively in the last 2 years or so. And just give you an example, POIC alone, we have met more than 200 over companies to invest. And through the Ministry of Trade and Industry, we have conducted at least 2 trade missions to promote Sabah as a destination of choice. We have organized seminars, we have organized conferences to promote Sabah, especially the raw material that is available in Sabah, and specifically the geographical strategic location of Sabah. So we have done that. The other part is we have been trying to address the issue of the cost of doing business in Sabah. To reduce the cost of doing business, we have to look at the infra that is lacking now. And one of it is, of course, logistic. And we have, just to take POIC Lahada to port, for instance, we have now the dry bulk, liquid bulk, and a container port. We now have the legal landing place license to operate as a port. Okay, we have done that. And we have pursued and campaigned aggressively for federal funding for our Sepang Garbe port and things like that, and hopefully it will be done before that time. Yeah.
In your opinion also, in maybe 20 to 30 years from now, will Sabah truly be ready to reap the benefit of the relocation of the new capital, relocation of Jakarta to what is now dubbed as the new Jakarta to East Kalimantan? What are the steps being taken now in Sabah to ensure that you will be a full partner of the new economic growth and wealth by that time, when the new Jakarta is in full bloom?
Well, one of the biggest impact of the relocation of the capital from Jakarta to East Kalimantan is to strengthen the logistic location activities in the east coast of Sabah and east coast of Kalimantan. I am referring to the Lombok Makassar Strait. Okay. At the moment, we are looking at only the Malacca Strait as the main, shipping lines. But now we are looking at this, and if we are fast enough to capitalize on this, okay. Lahada, for instance, which is the deepest port in the country. We call PIC Lahada port as the Rotterdam of the East. Okay. Right. We could well be another Singapore. We could actually develop that, but we have to do it fast enough to capture that part. The other part is, of course, Sabah is strategically located within the BIM Iaga region. Okay. So we could capitalize on our strategic location and to be the transshipment hub of all the ports around the BIM Iaga region, of which the new capital city will be part of that. Yeah. Okay. So, however, we need to, right from the very beginning, Sabah will have to look at that in terms of the way you want to allocate resources for infra. Facilities, as well as the other things like utilities and things like that.
Okay. Just a small follow-up question to that answer of yours. Many times the old model is to look at GDP, infrastructure. But as we know now, people-to-people movement are very crucial. The gig economy, Uber or Grab, you don't need to book through hotels, travel agents anymore. So what about the people to people with the new Jakarta? Because that relationship has been around in Borneo for years. even before the formation of nation states like we know today. So how do you look at people to people?
Well, again, that certainly will be very, very critical, okay, but facilities, infrastructure facilities will still be critical. For instance, connectivity in terms of transportation, inland transportation, sea transportation, and of course, internet penetration. So we have to be prepared. At the moment, for instance, in Sabah, when you come into internet penetration, it's only along highways and things like that. We have to go beyond that, okay? And connectivity between Tawau, for instance, and East Kalimantan will have to be addressed and things like that. So infra is still important. However, we have to get prepared in terms of the implementation of the Port AR, digital economy. This is something that the state government is trying to address at the moment. Yeah.
So when you talk about infra, for example, technology is a huge part of that.
Yes.
Like you have to invest billions now for a 5G technology that the world has not had a benchmark to look at, right? So this might be a play not just for the state government, but to a nation itself. Because like 5G, the cost is very, very high. So it doesn't make sense for one state to do it alone when the whole geographical outlay must be strategically looked at. So maybe it's even Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei 5Ging the whole of Borneo through shared infrastructure, for example. So with that perspective, where do you think Malaysia and Sabah stand now in terms of using technology to help create a more sustainable future?
We have to, of course, look at the whole region. We have to look at ASEAN. And actually, this has been deliberated a long time ago. Okay, this Trans-ASEAN, say, optic cable, for instance, it has been there for a while now. And in fact, here in Sabah, right here in Sabah, SIDCO was involved in this, tapping from Hong Kong, for instance, the land to Brunei and things like that. But I think the whole, we have to take it as a country. You're right, we have to take us as a country to look at the infrastructure. And ASEAN will have to address this seriously. We talk about ASEAN as an economic community.
Yes.
I think this will be one agenda that there has to be.
It's not in my given question, but I just want to follow up on that. So is it only logical to push that as a three-nation infrastructure building to entities like from China, which is already having One Belt, One Road? They even have AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, which really look at high capital expenditure infrastructure projects. Because the lesson learned from Indonesia, last year and 1.5 years ago, President Jokowi talked about needing 400 to 500 billion US dollars if all the infrastructure needs were to be given. But there's no way you can raise 400 to 500 just to build infrastructure. But with the economic giant like China, maybe that's the way to go. So I'm just saying, all that you have said, putting it into the current reality, is that one of the feasible way to
well, the state government is open to any ideas, including investors to come in. For instance, if somebody, an investor, comes in and provide all those things, and with them having the opportunity of market access to the state, why not? We can sit down and talk about it. That would be very interesting.
Would this excite your younger? Because I know you're one of the leaders that always think about what the young population needs and want. So with that kind of backing and infrastructure, maybe, even though people have not been mentioning it, a high-speed rail going all around Borneo, which is more sustainable compared to building highways and toll highways, should be discussed at least.
Well, as I said, we discussed, and in fact, recently we had BIMIAGA meeting in Kuching, okay, and the Indonesians and the Bruneians, and even from the Philippines were there. And this is some of the areas that we talk about. Okay, taking it off from what the Pan Borneo is at the moment and taking it to the next level.
Okay.
Yeah, we are open to that.
So I want to be a bit naughty for this power talk. So my last question, I promise. So does that mean that it's logical sense for Malaysia to think of new Kuala Lumpur in Borneo to reciprocate to the new Jakarta in Borneo?
Well, all I can say is that, and I want to take this opportunity to say, that Sabah and Sarawak is actually the mainland Malaysia. 60% of the land of Malaysia is Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, the peninsula is only 133,000 square kilometers. Sarawak is 124,000 square kilometers. Sabah is 74,000 square kilometers. Put that together, it's about 200,000 square kilometers. So this is mainland Malaysia. So yeah, I agree with you. It's only logical that the capital city should be in the mainland Malaysia.
Well, some people would say amen to that, but that's all the time we have for Power Talk at the WIEF Roundtable, first time in Malaysia, in Kota Kinabalu in Sabah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.